Marcus Rashford has returned to training at Manchester United.
Talk about his relationship with Michael Carrick. Is he possibly the right person that can get the very best out of Marcus Rashford? Because
United are just fucking stupid for thinking this is going to be a good idea. It's going to be a bloody nightmare. I'm disgusted by what I've seen this morning.
He's not played for United since December 2024. I think if he does play for me, Andy, so much will depend on how he starts.
And you know what? You know what I saw? Rashford. Rashford is back at Manchester United at a training ground. And guys, he's like a purring Ferrari, man. He looks fit, he looks ready.
Listen to what Rio said. Rashford is back at Man United. He's like a purring Ferrari. He looks fit, he looks ready, and do you know what? There's a smile on his face and there's a spring in his step. I hope he stays. He'll be like a new signing at the football club. And I go, he probably thinks he's doing God's work. He probably thinks the PR there, the club are going to love me, Rashford's going to love me, I'm going to get all the fans to like Rashford because they love Rio. Mate, I actually think you probably put more. You read the comments and you go, you've probably done him more harm than good.
Just one more on Marcus, Mark, if you don't mind though. As you mentioned, it's a slight unique situation. I mean, do you feel maybe empathy for him? Because it felt like last season he thought his future was at Barcelona. So, you know, for him, I think the fans feel, you know, is he completely committed to Manchester United?
If he's staying at Manchester United this season, he has to start. And I don't even know if I believe that. I do sort of believe, I sort of agree with Michael that his last season at Man United wasn't great. And I don't know whether he's better than Acuna on the left wing. But if he's staying, then he has to start. Because the noise we've seen in the last 24 hours will become way more than that if he's on the bench every week.
Now, this could actually become a very big problem for Manchester United, and I want to explain to you exactly why. Because if this situation is not handled properly, it could completely change the conversation around the team when the season starts. Right now, you can see that the whole media is talking about Marcus Rashford. Almost every news concerning Manchester United now is Marcus Rashford. And suddenly, the things that we were talking about before have started disappearing from the conversation. Just a few weeks ago, the main and most important discussions were about the transfers Manchester United need to make. We were talking about how we need a left-back, how we need another midfielder, how we need another striker, and also how we need a left winger. Those were the things we were discussing, those were the areas we were looking at because those are the things that can improve this Manchester United team. But now Rashford has come into the picture and suddenly, almost everything has become about Marcus Rashford. And this can become a big problem for Manchester United when the season starts if not handled properly. Because imagine the coach decides to bench Marcus Rashford. Immediately, the headlines will start. Why did you bench Rashford? Is he okay? Is he fit? Is there a problem with Marcus Rashford? The fans will start asking the same questions. Why did Marcus Rashford not start? Why is he not playing? What is happening? What is the problem? And then imagine Manchester United lose a game. The entire conversation could suddenly become, we lost because Marcus Rashford did not play. People will say, if Marcus Rashford had played, maybe we would have won. The media will keep asking why Marcus did not play, and the fans will start focusing on his absence instead of looking at the actual performance of the team. And it doesn't stop there. Imagine Manchester United draw a match. The conversation could become, if Marcus Rashford had started this game, he would have scored. If Marcus had played, maybe he would have made the difference. And all of a sudden, players like Cunha are not being talked about. Players like Mbeumo are not being talked about. Players like Ahmad and Sesko are not being talked about. The only player everybody is talking about is Marcus Rashford. And we are already seeing the signs of that now. And when this kind of situation builds up over time, it can also start to create small tensions within the dressing room. Because some players may begin to feel like the focus is always on one individual, and that can slowly affect the balance, the harmony, and even the confidence inside the squad. And that is where I think this can become a very big problem for Manchester United football. because most people will stop paying attention to the whole football analysis. The media will not necessarily be focused on the football analytics, on what is happening across the team, on what needs to improve, or on how the team is performing as a whole. The fans can also start focusing on one player. The spotlight moves away from the team performance and starts moving towards one player's performance. And for me, that is where the beginning of a problem can come in a team. So, in this video, I want to talk about how we can solve this problem and, more importantly, how Manchester United can handle this situation properly. There has to be a strategy for how we approach this, because the right approach can help the team move forward instead of allowing everything to become about one player. And I will also explain how Rashford can impact the team positively if all these issues are managed. So please stay with me throughout this video, because I want to explain exactly how I think this problem can be solved and how Rashford can impact this team positively. So please don't forget to give the video a like and subscribe to the channel if you love honest Manchester United analysis. And I also want you to tell me in the comments, do you want Marcus Rashford to stay at Manchester United, and what exactly do you expect from him if he stays? So let's start from the foundation, because before we get into the solution properly, I think we first need to understand how we got here in the first place. We need to look at how this situation happened, because once we understand how it started, then we can understand how to solve it. And after that, I will talk about what I believe is the best way for Manchester United to handle this situation going forward. Around late November 2024, there were already reports and rumours surrounding Rashford's lifestyle and his relationship with the new manager, Ruben Amorim, including the reports about him going out on a Friday night before the Everton game. At that point, it was still just a rumour, and there was nothing that suggested that this was going to become the massive story it eventually became. But then, on December 15th, 2024, everything changed. That was the big breaking point. Amorim completely left Marcus Rashford and Alejandro Garnacho out of the 20-player matchday squad for the Manchester derby against Manchester City at the Etihad. And remember, this was not just any game. This was a Manchester derby, and Amorim had only recently taken over. It was a huge decision, and immediately, everybody wanted to know why. But Manchester United went on to win the game 2-1, and that made the decision even more interesting because the team performed without Rashford and Garnacho.
Over the top towards Ahmed. Can he get there? He can! Ahmed! It's in!
After the game, Amorim was asked directly about the decision. And he was very clear that he did not consider it a disciplinary punishment. He said it was a selection decision based on everything he was seeing from the players. He talked about training performances, match performances, how they engaged with their teammates, how they pushed their teammates, and even the small details outside the actual 90 minutes of football. He made it clear that he was paying attention to everything. The way you eat, the way you prepare yourself, even the way you dress when you come to a game. For Amorim, these small details mattered because he was trying to raise the standards inside Manchester United.
Ruben, you made a very bold call leaving Marcus and Alejandro out the squad altogether. Could I ask why that was?
It's important to say why. It was not a disciplinary thing. Next week, next game, new life. They are fighting for the places, but for me it's important the performance in training, the performance in game, the way you dress, the way you eat, the way you engage with the teammates, the way you push your teammates. Everything is important in our context in the beginning of Sunday when we want to change a lot of things, when people in our club are losing their jobs. We have to put the standards really high.
Then, just 2 days later, on December 17th, Rashford gave an interview that changed the conversation completely. He said that he was ready for a new challenge and admitted that being left out of the Manchester derby was disheartening. And suddenly, what had started as a manager making a selection decision became something much bigger. The following day, December 18th, Amorim was asked about those comments in his pre-match press conference. But instead of turning it into a huge public fight, he tried to bring the focus back to the team.
First of all, just wondering what your reaction is to Marcus Rashford saying that he's ready for a new challenge.
I think he's right. We have here a new challenge. It's a tough one. For me, it's the biggest challenge in football because we are in a difficult situation. and I already said that this is one of the biggest clubs in the world. So this is really a new challenge and the biggest one. And I hope all my players are ready for this new challenge.
He said that everybody at Manchester United had a new challenge and that Rashford was still a big talent. He also made it clear that he wanted to get the best out of him and that Manchester United were better with Marcus Rashford performing at his highest level. But the situation did not disappear. As the days went on, Rashford continued to miss matches. He was left out against Tottenham and Bournemouth, and the conversation around his future became even louder. And this is where the situation became very difficult, because it was no longer just about whether Marcus Rashford was starting or sitting on the bench. It became a question about standards, professionalism, the relationship between the manager and the player, and whether the player could adapt to what the manager wanted.
I'm so clear in my message. Everybody in Carrington know what I'm talking about and what I want from Marcos and everybody else. So it's not a distraction for us. Maybe it's for the media, but that is not my concern. Like any other player, the best that they can be. If you have big talent, big performance, big responsibility, big engagement, like push forward everybody in this moment. And some guys have a big responsibility here because they are here for a long time. So
eventually, Rashford's involvement with the first team almost completely disappeared. He was omitted from 11 of the next 12 matchday squads, with the one exception being the Newcastle match where he remained on the bench. And after that, the situation reached its conclusion when Rashford secured a loan move to Aston Villa to finish the season. Now, the question is this: was Amorim actually wrong? Because when you listen to some of the players who have played with Marcus Rashford, and even some of the new players coming into Manchester United, they often speak positively about him. They describe him as a hard-working player, a nice person, a decent teammate, and someone they have good things to say about.
I think what surprised me most with him was his commitment. You know, there was such a big thing made out of him that he wasn't committed or wasn't in it for the right reasons or whatever. And you see the player coming in and it's completely opposite from what you hear. He was committed, he was doing the work, he was positive with everyone, you know, he was...
So naturally, you start asking yourself, if all these players have good things to say about Rashford, does that mean Amorim was wrong? Does it mean everything that happened between them was simply exaggerated or formulated by the media? Or is there another side to this story that we need to understand? Now, if you ask me personally, I don't think Amorim was wrong. And at the same time, I don't think that means Marcus Rashford is a bad player or a bad person. I believe the issue was about what the manager expected from him and what he was actually seeing from him on the pitch. Because when we look at the games, there were moments where we saw Rashford walking around the pitch while other players were running. We saw moments where he was not tracking his man. We saw moments where he was not tracking back with the same intensity as some of his teammates. And we saw moments where the effort and energy he was giving did not look like the same level that other players were putting into the team. And this is where I think the conversation becomes very important. We are talking about a player who was earning around £325,000 a week at Manchester United. That is a huge amount of money, and with that kind of responsibility comes a very high level of expectation. Look at players like Bruno Fernandes and Casemiro. These are players who have also earned very good money at Manchester United, but when you watch them play, you can see the energy and you see the intensity they put into the game. So how can Amorim simply wake up one morning and decide, I'm going to make Marcus Rashford my scapegoat? Why would he do that? Why would a manager deliberately pick one of his own players, especially a player with the profile and history Rashford has at Manchester United, and decide that he is not doing enough for absolutely no reason? Think about it. That doesn't really make sense. Amorim had a responsibility to make decisions based on what he was seeing from his players every single day. And if he believed Rashford was not meeting the standard he wanted, then as the manager, it was his responsibility to address that. That doesn't mean Rashford was a terrible player. It doesn't mean Rashford was lazy every single day. It doesn't mean everything people said about him was true. It simply means that, at that particular moment, Amorim believed he was not getting enough from Marcus Rashford. And for me, that criticism becomes even more understandable because Rashford is not just another player who walked through the doors of Manchester United. This is someone who has been at the club for practically his entire career. This is someone Manchester United fans have watched grow from an academy player into a first-team star. So naturally, we are going to demand more from him. We know what he is capable of. We have seen what he can do when he is at his best. And if we can see moments during matches where the effort does not appear to be at the level we expect, then it is fair to ask ourselves a very simple question: if this is what we are seeing during the match, what was happening in training when the cameras were not there? Because the manager sees much more than we do. We watch 90 minutes on a match day. The manager watches training sessions, conversations, preparation, attitude, reactions, and everything that happens around the squad. Now, let's talk about the solution. And after that, I will tell you exactly how Marcus Rashford can positively impact this Manchester United team if these solutions are properly put in place. The first solution is very simple: Marcus Rashford should be reintegrated into the team. Let Carrick continue with the team he has already started with. Let the players who have built the chemistry, the understanding, and the rhythm continue to play. And at the same time, Marcus Rashford should be gradually reintegrated into the squad. And when I say reintegrated, I don't mean Rashford should immediately walk back into the starting 11 and start taking the place of players who are already settled in the system. Absolutely not. That would not be the right approach. Rashford should come back into the team gradually, without disrupting what is already working. This is going to help Rashford, but it is also going to help the rest of the squad. Because imagine Rashford comes straight back into the starting 11 and immediately someone else is pushed out of the team. That can create unnecessary problems within the squad. The players have just started building understanding, they are learning their roles, and they are developing chemistry within Carrick's system. You cannot simply ignore all of that because one player has returned. The team has to come first. Manchester United has to come before any individual player. And there is another reason why I think Rashford should be reintegrated gradually. Imagine he starts his first game immediately and does not have a good performance. What happens? The spotlight will become even bigger. Fans who are already emotional about his return could immediately start pointing fingers at him. They could say, "This is the problem. This is why he should not have come back. This is why he should have been sold." Suddenly, one poor performance could turn into a massive media story. We don't need that. We need to protect Rashford from that kind of unnecessary pressure, but at the same time, we also need to protect the balance of the team. We cannot make the entire system revolve around one player. We cannot allow the whole conversation to become Marcus Rashford again. That is why I believe the best approach is to bring him back slowly. Let him come from the bench. Let him get some minutes. Let him feel the rhythm of the team again. Let him understand what Carrick wants from him. Let him work his way back into the squad without all the attention being placed on him. And then, little by little, if he performs, if he shows the right attitude, if he gives the team what Carrick expects from him, his minutes can increase. He can start getting more opportunities. He can start competing for a starting position naturally. That way, Rashford is not being handed anything. He is earning his place again. And I think that is very important because it protects everybody. Now, that brings me to the second solution, and I think this one is just as important as the first one. We should support Michael Carrick's decisions. Because if Marcus Rashford is being gradually reintegrated and starts games from the bench, we already know what is going to happen. The questions are going to start coming. The media will start asking Michael Carrick before and after matches, why was Rashford benched? Why didn't Rashford start? And before you know it, the entire conversation becomes about one player again. The fans will start questioning it too. You will see people saying, why is Rashford not starting? Why is he on the bench? Why is he not playing? And that is exactly the problem I talked about earlier. We cannot allow the situation to become another media storm where the manager is constantly being pressured to play one particular player. We need to allow Michael Carrick to coach Manchester United. That is the second solution for me. We, as fans, need to trust the manager to make his own decisions. If Michael Carrick looks at the team and decides that Marcus Rashford should start from the bench, then we have to respect that decision. If Carrick decides Rashford should not play in a particular game, we should respect that too. We don't have to immediately start questioning the manager every time Rashford is not in the starting 11. Because if Carrick has decided to keep Rashford on the bench, I believe he has his reasons. And those reasons may actually be about helping Rashford get back to his best while also protecting the team. Maybe Carrick believes that bringing Rashford on gradually is better for him. Maybe he believes that Rashford needs to earn his place back. Maybe he believes another player is currently performing better in that position. Whatever the reason is, let the manager do his job. We cannot build a successful Manchester United team if the manager is constantly being pressured by the fans and the media to select certain players. The team must come first. Now, if all of these things are properly put in place, then I believe Rashford can bring a lot to this Manchester United team. And this is where I think we need to look beyond everything that has happened and ask one simple question: what can Marcus Rashford actually bring to Michael Carrick's Manchester United? Because if we take away all the noise surrounding him, all the headlines, all the arguments and everything that has happened before, we still have a player with qualities that can be very useful to this team. So, the first question is, what is Rashford's biggest strength? For me, it is very clear: speed and shot power. And now look at Michael Carrick's system. Carrick's system is an attacking-based system. It is a system that wants to use the explosiveness of the players, especially in transition. It wants players who can make runs, players who have pace, players who are willing to take on their man, players who can receive the ball and attack space, and players who can hurt the opposition when Manchester United win possession and go forward. And that fits Marcus Rashford very well. Rashford has the speed to attack space. He has the explosiveness to take on defenders. He has the ability to run behind the defensive line, and he has the shot power to turn those attacking situations into goals. That automatically tells you that, if he is properly reintegrated and used in the right way, Rashford can bring another dimension to this Manchester United attack, especially from the left side. Look at what we already have from the right. We have players like Ahmad and Bumo who can give us that attacking threat from the right side. They can carry the ball, make runs, attack defenders and contribute to the attacking side of the team. Rashford can give us something similar from the left. And that is important because Manchester United cannot become too predictable. We cannot have all of our attacking threat coming through one particular area of the pitch. And this brings me to the second thing Rashford can bring to Manchester United: he can help us solve one of the problems we had last season. What is that problem? We don't really have a natural left winger with the same level of pace and explosiveness that Rashford possesses. Yes, Matheus Cunha can play from the left. He can give us quality, he can combine with Bruno Fernandes, and he can move inside into the midfield. But Cunha does not have the same pace as Rashford, and he does not attack the wide area in exactly the same way. Cunha naturally likes to drift into the middle. He likes to connect with Bruno Fernandes and become involved centrally. And if you remember how Manchester United played for large parts of last season, a lot of our attacking play was concentrated through the centre of the pitch. That can become a problem when you face teams that are comfortable defending centrally and closing down the middle. If the opponent blocks the centre, where do we go? That is where having a player like Rashford can become very important. Because with Rashford on the left, Manchester United can attack teams in a different way. We can stretch the defensive line. We can force defenders to move wider. We can create spaces between defenders. And suddenly, the opposition has another problem to deal with. Because when you are playing against a team that is sitting deep, you need more than just central combinations. You need players who can create something from the wide areas. You need wingers who are willing to attack defenders, create space for the striker, and provide chances for the players inside the box. And Rashford has shown that he can do that. He also showed that side of his game during his time at Barcelona, where he contributed 11 assists. That is important because it shows that his value is not only about scoring goals. He can also create. And that is exactly what Manchester United need. So, at the end of the day, I think the Marcus Rashford situation is not something Manchester United should allow to become bigger than the football itself. If Rashford stays, the most important thing is that he becomes part of the team again, earns his place, competes for his position, and gives Michael Carrick another weapon to work with. We should not build the entire team around Marcus Rashford, but we also should not ignore the qualities he can bring to this Manchester United side. His pace, his explosiveness, his ability to play from the left, his ability to play centrally, and the competition he can bring could all be very important. But everything depends on how this situation is handled. Carrick has to be allowed to make the decisions, Rashford has to be ready to fight for his place, and we as fans have to put the team before one individual player. If all of that happens, I genuinely believe Rashford can have a very positive impact on this Manchester United team. But what do you think? Should Manchester United keep Marcus Rashford and give him another opportunity under Michael Carrick, or do you think the club should move on? And if he stays, what do you expect from him this season? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed this analysis, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications so you don't miss the next Manchester United video. Until next time, stay safe, stay passionate, and I'll see you in the next one.